a video today on the topic of transcendent talent. I've always liked sports, not for rooting for a team, but for transcendent talent. Been a longtime fan of Kobe. Been a longtime fan of LeBron. So what is it that makes a certain athlete special? Why is it that some people outperform other people? Is it just skill? Is it something genetic? Is it training? Or is there something transcendent that actually goes beyond all of that? That's what we're going to be talking about here today. Yeah, shoot it.
How you escape the 9 to 5 and time management when you have like a 9 to 5 job and then you have like 3 or 4 hours of free time.
It is basically a hell on earth. What he's saying is, how do you escape the trap of the fact that to build something, to escape a 9 to 5, you would have to have enough time to build that, and you don't because you're stuck in a holding pattern. Look, at every level of business, including my level, you have a certain amount of money and you have a certain amount of runway. Every single day, I'm looking at, and you probably don't have time for this, probably don't need to, I'm running a little bit more complicated here. I'm looking at, like, every day of my life. Ask me later, I'll show you this stuff. I'm looking at pie charts, graphs, numbers, everything, and we're going, what is the calculation of our run rate? How long could we go with lower sales? How long could we go with no sales? How long can we survive? Can I take this much time off, this much time off, this much time off, this much time off? Can I go attend something where I could learn? Look, here's the kind of thing, okay? This is the big challenge. I would encourage you guys to think deeply about this. Imagine right now that you're sawing a tree, and let's say that your saw is not that sharp. So you're sawing an average of about 1 tree a day. Now, you need to get that 1 tree a day just to survive and to stay afloat, okay? Keep head above water, to keep the lights on in the building metaphorically. But if you could just take off a weekend to sharpen the damn saw, then what could happen is you could be sawing down 10 trees a day. But the problem is, how do you get those 2 days off to sharpen the saw? So, for a lot of you guys, for example, with social skills, you guys know very well that if you take a weekend to work with me, couple bucks, you know damn well that you could up-level yourself by 1,000,000,000,000x. But for a lot of you guys in here, it's not in the cards, right? Because you're just, this is the free event. A lot of people in here have there's confirmed multi-millionaires, including guys that I coach, to get to that point in this room. There's going to be a variety, but there's many of you in this room at the free event who don't have a penny to your name. I get it, right? And then I'm like, hey, let's go out together and actually train. I could change your life in 3 or 4 hours, but you can't do it, and I understand that. And what a shame that is, isn't it? What a shame that is. But the bottom line is that in order to sharpen the saw, you have to fight, get a little bit of runway, and then use that runway effectively. Fight, get a little bit of runway, use that runway effectively. So you're averaging about an average of 3 to 4 hours a night of extra time, right? That's not much. But I think about this as kind of an analogy I like to use. Who here has ever played the video game Ghost of Tsushima? Anybody here ever played that? Okay, so the idea of it's an awesome game. So in that game, you kind of it's a samurai fighting game, and you bash your opponent's shield. And then as you're bashing the shield, eventually, if you can wear him down enough, a little opening happens. And when the opening happens, so you use little soft taps to kind of tap at his shield until he goes, oh, like that. And then you got to use the big hit and go whack, and you got to whack the guy. And then that's how you beat him over time, right? So you got to understand, you going to work is not getting you anywhere at all. None of you guys go to work is getting you anywhere. So that's you going tap, 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 tap on the shield. When that shield fucking breaks, what you do with that time, are you going to give that hard hit that moves you towards a completion of that level? Or are you going to waste it just going, oh, his shield broke, I can just sit here and derp. I don't even have to keep fighting, right? And so in other words, for all of you here that want to break out of the 9 to 5, what you've got to do is you've got to audit every minute of your life. When you take a piss, when you take a shit, when you fucking sleep, it is massive, massive time auditing, nonstop time auditing. I've done this in trainings for years, okay? Some of you guys might have seen now Blueprint Reloaded. We go very deep on that in there. I do it at seminars. I even do it in infield trainings. I just get guys to do it in the day. Basically, you just massively, massively look at your time, look at where it's going, and then what you do is you write down every single thing in your life. People, places, things, habits, what you're reading, what you're consuming. You write it all down, and you rate it 1 to 10 on what it's giving you and what it's taking from you. And what you'll find is all these things that you're doing that you like and you would like to keep doing, you can't keep doing it because it's going to kill your time. So, the one I always give for me, as a simple example, was for many years, my biggest hobby in an average day was going to Croft Alley for lunch. Croft Alley is a great restaurant. It was in Melrose Place in Los Angeles. It's really tasty. Anybody who's around, I recommend going. I'm not sure if that one's still open. I haven't been for the reason I'm saying. I know there's one near Rodeo now. But basically, I'd go down there, right? But when I did the math on it, you're looking at, you call up the Uber. You wait 10 minutes for the fucking Uber. You're going to Uber down. That's going to be 15 minutes. There's the time that you wait for the food, the time that you eat the food, the time that you chill, the time that you call the Uber, the time you go back up. It's averaging about 2 hours a day, and that's probably about 20 days a month. So now you're looking at 40 hours per month, which is an entire work week to go eat at Croft Alley. What would I rather do? Cut that and then wind up going to Alaska and having a world-class vacation with my family that I'll remember for the rest of my fucking life, or another blurb of me eating one of the really good organic salads. And that's a personal choice, but the same goes for you breaking out the 9 to 5. It's the exact same thing. You're gonna have to ask yourself questions and decide what it is that you want. So basically, you gotta understand, the system is designed to put you in a headlock. It is no different than if you go to the redwood forest and you see these giant redwood trees that have, redwood trees have interesting root systems, but let's just say in theory, they have really deep roots. Although ironically, I think redwood roots are not that deep, but let's say a big tree, really deep roots, but also they're covering the sun. Do you understand? What do I mean by they're covering the sun? Come on, man. What am I saying? Come on, man.
They can't grow because they can't get sunlight.
Yeah, because the giant canopy is blocking. They're getting all the sun up at the top, right? That's like the big Amazon company getting all the money. They're obscuring the little guy, right? That's why they wiped out Main Street, but we all accepted it. So, because it's convenient, right? We let them do it. So, in other words, the big companies, they're getting all the money, which makes it harder for you to get at the money, right? And then if the root system is all clogged up with their roots, you can't even get your roots down. So how do you get up there? You've almost got to like twine onto the tree and like slink your way up the damn tree and then trying to poke up there and get a little bit of sun. And, it's a grind, right? You're literally in a battle for your business soul, fighting and fighting and fighting. Constant analysis of runway, how much time you have, what your core purpose is, what you love to do, where you're highly effective. And then what happens, you start to say, I don't need this friend. I don't need this person wasting my time. This girl that I'm dating, this guy that I'm dating, whoever you are, I don't give a shit about this. It's wasting my fucking time. Here's another key thing for you. Success in life is a combination of not just time is money. Repeat, time is money.
Time is money.
But so is focus.
So is focus.
And so is momentum. So in other words, all the money gets made when not just you manage your time, but it's about you also managing your focus and your momentum. And so, look, if you guys think about it, there's two different ways that I like to shoot videos. One of them is I say I'm doing a free event right here in Chicago. And then what I do is I book off 2 fucking days, okay? I book it off. And then I come in here and I do my little video and I go fucking ham, okay? That's acronym for, is that the word acronym? Okay, sorry, brain fart, okay.
Metaphor.
Okay, yeah. Acronym for hard as a motherfucker, okay? You go ham, hard as a motherfucker. So I'm gonna come in here for 2 full days and I'm gonna go hard as a motherfucker. So now, look at what I've done, okay? I've booked the conference room, I've promoted it, I've got you guys here, I've got the camera. Could I bring this level of focus and momentum and intensity sitting in my closet? I know that you guys think I could, and I appreciate it, but the answer is fuck no, okay? So if I can just say, I'm gonna do a free event, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna work on my public speaking skills for several days, I will come out of this with 6 or 7 videos that are fucking sick that I can then post online. But not just that, I can also work on my public speaking, orator skills, free associative skills, help you guys. We can get a lot done in 2 days if I just set aside 2 days. Turn off the fucking phone. Fuck everyone. Fuck everyone that's calling me, even my friends, borderline almost even my family, but they'll get a pass, okay? Fuck the world. Fuck distraction. Fuck the internet. Fuck everything. Fuck anything that's taking away from your focus. Get in here, bring great fucking energy, and smash the event for 2 days. If I do that, I'm gonna train myself to be a better public speaker. I'm gonna get great videos out of it, and everything's gonna be awesome. So that means that even as I'm walking here, in my mind, what I should be thinking is, get in a good mood, enjoy your time, have fun, enjoy the day. If I start looking at people texting me and pie charts and distractions and complaints and this and that and the other thing, this seminar will not be nearly as good. If I can wipe my mind clean, get in here, lock it, and smash it, I'll crush it. The other way that I do it is I rent a cabin in the mountains. I do this all the time. I go up to Montana, Alaska, Wyoming, Utah, Arizona. Coming up, I'm gonna go to Lake Powell and I'm gonna rent a houseboat with my kids and I'm just gonna go in Lake Powell. I'm gonna shut off fuck the world, fuck them all, even though they're my friends trying to help me. For that moment, fuck them. They're your enemy in that moment, okay? The people that are in your life in that moment are your enemy, even though they are your friends, they love you. But in that moment, they're your enemy. Shut it off, go to Lake Powell, get the fucking houseboat. Now, the houseboat's gonna cost me 10 or 20 grand. Why is that good? This room cost me I'll leave you to guess what it costs to run this fucking thing, but this room cost me money. The house in Montana cost me money. Alaska cost me money. The houseboat cost me money. What am I likely to do if I've invested into putting some time aside to work on public speaking and content? What am I going to do? Am I going to dick around?
Go ham.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Go ham.
What?
What?
Go ham. What? Okay, yeah, I'm going to go ham, right? Because I've invested the money, I'm focused, I put aside the time, and I'm going to go ham. And so if I'm out there in the mountains, if I'm at home, look, I love my kids, but the kids are going to come up, you know, phone calls, text message, distraction, TV, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to make progress. If I just lock myself in a mountain cabin and I go out and shoot in the mountains, or, you know, I go to Hawaii and I go to Nepali coast and I'm shooting on the coast, if I book an event and I'm doing it here, I'm going to do something awesome. So you got to be thinking, you go fight, and get that time aside in order to build your business outside of what it is that you're doing at work. But then it's not just about that, it's also about actually having focus and being in momentum, right? For example, how do I build my social skill set? I mean, for any of you guys that have been out with me, what is it like watching me go to a bar or club? Like, what is that like?
It's insane. It's like watching an alien who just came down from some fucking other planet and is operating at a level so much higher than anyone else around him that you're mesmerized. It's like nothing that you can even give words to.
That was a great explanation. All right. We forgot about the angel shooting out of my penis. So in other words, that's the platinum version. So in other words, what you're seeing is that is basically, I got that skill set from taking 4 hours a day for 20 years, shutting out the world and just going to motherfucking work, okay? So it's the same thing with public speaking. I got my public speaking skill set by shutting out the world and going to motherfucking work. For you guys at home that are, you have a job, it burns up a lot of your time, my recommendation to you is viciously, ruthlessly cut out every single distraction. Things like marijuana, alcohol, fast food, all that shit is completely coping based. It will ruin your life. I think marijuana is the worst drug of any drug. Worse than crack, worse than heroin, worse than meth, worse than any of them. You know why? Because I've got friends that quit crack. I've got friends that quit meth. I've got friends that quit everything. I never have a friend that quit smoking fucking weed because weed is not that bad. And that's what's dangerous about it, okay? They say the enemy, the best, the good. Weed is the most dangerous drug in my view because you'll never get off of it. You'll be on it for fucking life because it's mildly bad for you, but not that bad. And then it just gradually wears away at you like Chinese water torture or like a river running over a stone. Just gradually takes away from you. Alcohol, also very poisonous. I know this is the Midwest. Very poisonous, kills your brain. Fast food, any of that shit. Look, here's what you gotta understand. You are partnering with your inputs. In other words, whatever you put in your mind, whatever you put in your body, and whatever you put in your soul are partners. So if you're putting in Eastern herbs, vegetables, grass-fed meats, probiotics, sauna, cold plunge, dark room for sleep, grounding, natural sunlight, and theories on health will change over the years, and maybe it'll turn out later that the only way to be healthy is to breathe air, and that even the air will be bad, because you know how the theories always change and they argue over that. That's fine. But whatever the case, you're partnering with what you're putting in your body. You're also partnering with what you put in your mind. The ideas that you're putting in your mind, those are partners. But you're also partnering with what you put in your soul. And are you growing your soul? Are you spending time in nature? Are you meditating? Do you have a relationship with God? And do you have a relationship with giving and expanding and not just being a selfish little piece of shit? So, and you should still care about yourself, but not be a selfish little piece of shit, because that will fuck your soul. So in other words, what are you partnering with? And what will happen is, if you partner with the right things, you will become this dynamic, powerful, charismatic beam of light, the alien like he described. And if you don't do that, you'll become a piece of garbage. You'll become another floating turd waiting to get flushed. And I mean, it is so bad that the people who lead the world literally believe that you should be flushed. They literally believe that you, as God's creation, you as God's children of God, created in the image of the origin of the universe, all that potential. They think that you're shit and want to get rid of you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And why do they justify that? Because you give them so little to weigh against that idea. Because you walk down the street and everybody's spaced out, looking like basically cattle. They look like cows. They actually look like cows. Look at a cow, look at a human on the street. There's not a big difference. You put weed in the mix, alcohol in the mix, processed food in the mix, TikTok in the mix, bullshit in the mix, shit talk in the mix, things that hurt your soul in the mix, they look more like a cow. And then, the people that run shit come along and go, look at these motherfuckers. Get rid of them. Too many of them, polluting the world, useless eaters, get rid of them, is basically what they're saying. And yet, I have a different view of that, okay? I believe that we need a human awakening project. Human beings, when put under the right circumstances, are absolutely beautiful and have so much potential. Even the most piece of shit human being, just a floating turd waiting to get flushed, can have an absolute complete turnaround. How did I know? Because I was one of them. I would have been one of those people that they would say should just be gone. I would have been one of those people. Maybe I'm now too, but you know my point, okay? So I know human beings' potential, and we have a lot of potential, but it just depends on what it is that you do with that. What'll happen, though, is if you do the basic level shit that I'm saying here, which is very, very basic, your life will change profoundly. So if you do those things, you partner with those correct things, and then what you do is, here's what you have to understand. You don't need to teach yourself how to make money. You don't need to teach yourself how to get good social skills. There's a little box that you go in, and it does it for you, okay? And here's what that thing is. In business, it's called start your fucking business. Just start it. And if you start it, your brain, which is powerful beyond words, will begin to learn how to do it via trial and error, okay? Via trial and error. Then what you do is you get mentors, you read books, because here's the thing. If you read and get a mentor, but you don't do anything, you won't remember any of it. But if you're actively failing, then what you're doing is called ready, fire, aim. Say that, ready, fire, aim. Ready, fire, aim. So what you're doing is ready, fire, aim. You're ready, fire, aiming, which in other words, not ready, aim, fire, but ready, fire, aim, which is my philosophy of life. Probably will have a broken leg, but ready, fire, aim, okay? And then you just go like that, and you just see what happens. Okay, not literally, okay? They're like, now what's he teaching? Look at him now, what he's teaching. He's crazy, okay? So they'll do that. Look at him now, like that. He's serious. It's not a metaphor. And they'll even know it when they got it. So, okay, just go boom, okay? Metaphorically, not literally. Never harm a soul. So then basically what you do is you just take massive action, and lo and behold, you've been writing sales ads, you've been building products, you've been learning what to do. You fail, it makes you angry. As you get angry, your brain records the lesson and you learn. Social skills. You go out to a social gathering. You begin saying hi to people and engaging with people. Your brain will see what goes wrong rapidly. Then what you do is you get a mentor, because only get a mentor when you're in a state of action, or, luckily with me, my version of mentorship is I'll take you out and then you can be in action as you're learning. But in most cases, you've got to be in action, and your brain will say, oh, when I lean in a bit too much, that's not good. Oh, when I'm a bit too far back, that's not good. Oh, when I use my voice here, it's not loud enough. Oh, when I use my voice here, it's too loud. Oh, when I use humor like this, it's trying too hard. Oh, when I'm boring like this, it's not good. And your brain, much like if you walk on a rope, eventually you'll learn, oh, too far to the left, too far to the right. You get balance. If you go out enough and then you have good mentorship, you will get good. So in other words, you put the right ideas in your brain, right food in your body, right nourishment of your soul, pick something that you want to do in terms of money or in terms of social skills, whatever it is, go do it, fail, 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 fail. Allow your brain to catch up, your body to catch up, your soul to catch up. Do that. And then what happens is, as you're feeding yourself with highly nutrient-dense foods, detoxing with things like sauna, cold plunging, getting down inflammation, and so on and so forth. Probiotics, which helps build up your brain. Eastern herbs, which helps to build you up. Antibiotics, fruits, vegetables, high-quality proteins, all that. Deep sleep, all that. You're building yourself, and you come out a different person. You're an absolutely different person. And what happens is that your soul wakes up. A part of you will wake up. What do I mean by your soul? What your soul is that little part of you that doesn't need anything, that just wants to give, and that comes from a point of orientation that is purely at the cause, not the effect. Okay, being at the cause, not the effect, is such a deep part of spirituality. And I'll go in that later. But that is a massive, massive part. And what will happen is it will grow. And you'll feel this sort of present blob growing in your brain. And you can speak from that space. You can socialize from that space. You can intuit what you need to do from that space. You will gain action from being on your purpose from that space. What I'm doing here, like improvised public speaking, you will do from that space. You will not need to have a thing to say in advance when you go say hi to somebody on the street. You will not get tired that much from work, or it'll be you'll get energized. Eventually you need to eat and sleep. You burn down a little bit, but you just go cool the jets a little bit, and you're back on it. You will outcompete everybody. You'll be like Tom Brady, down by X amount of points against the Atlanta Falcons and coming back in the second half. Because what will happen is God, in my view, my personal opinion, God will put these amazing challenges right in front of your face, and God will actually bring you through the fucking storm. You will walk on water when you do it for God, when you're connected to God. That is just my opinion. I'm not trying to force anything down your throat, but you will do things that you cannot imagine. This is my great wish for my sons, right? I will be dead. My sons will see these videos. Dylan, Tristan, Vincent, what's up? I'm watching. Okay, they'll be seeing this from when I'm dead. And what I would say to them is, I'd say, my sons, I'm here with you. I see you. I'm watching you. And I'm not gone. I'm omnipresent. I'm here. And I'm here via videos. I'm here in my spirit. I can see you. I'm not gone. And God is here and God is with you. And for you to live a truly blessed life, you have to go into nature. Go deep, deep, deep into nature. Go into the quiet. Go into meditation and find your inner voice. Because what happens is that through all the processed foods, the drugs, the weed, the booze, all this garbage, is we're always counterpunching. We're in reaction. My ego's hurt. Someone hurt my ego. Someone hurt my feelings. I want money. I want status. I want girls. I want guys. I want whatever. Okay, I want this. I want that. I'm hungry. I'm cold. I'm horny. I'm pissed off. I'm tired. And that's not your inner voice. That's just your body talking, which is of value, okay, because you should listen to your body too. It's an indicator light. But don't identify the indicator light of your temple with you. Go deep. I would say this to my sons. Go deep into quiet. Very, very, very quiet. And learn and still the mind. And as you still the mind, what you'll feel is you'll begin to talk to yourself, okay? Just like how you talk to yourself normal. But it will be a different quality of talking to yourself. And you might even begin to cry. And you'll feel this deep, deep voice within yourself of what it is that you have to do. You'll know what you have to do. And what will happen is you can actually just speak. Again, from presence, you speak. And you'll speak at a different quality. You'll speak at a different resonance. Your actions will have a different quality to them. And as you do these actions, they will energize you. You'll be given energy. In my view, you'll be given energy from God. And God will carry you. God will carry you through to heights that you cannot imagine. And it's not just about your glory or the glory of your ego, because many of the greatest people on earth are shot and they're humiliated and they're killed. And in my view, that is the highest form of spirituality when, honestly, like, why did they kill Jesus? Because he was too good for this world. And I often think that somebody who will shine a light in a dark, fucked up world of parasitic consciousness will be killed or will be shot. So I'm not saying that ultimately that, it just means that you get a fat bank account and you floss and flex and shit, okay? But beautiful miracles will happen, and death is not something to be afraid of. And the reason why you die, in my view, is because your soul has blossomed, right? Your soul's blossomed, so you don't need to be here anymore. So then that dark world will come and they'll destroy you, publicly humiliate you, shame you. Again, Jesus was, he was whipped and tarred and not literally tarred and feathered, but you know my point, right? Like he was just destroyed, publicly humiliated, put on the cross, died excruciatingly. But that was his body dying. And what did he have? A rebirth, right? And that was the rebirth of the soul. So when he gave up on the world and gave up on the trappings of the world and was in non-resistance and walked in faith, that was his rebirth. Now, that might scare you. I understand that. If you're coming from a small place, that scares you. But I believe that that's all of your destiny. And I believe that you'll keep coming back here until you embrace that destiny. So you can come here and you can dick around on your phone, and you can smoke your weed, and you can whack off. You do whatever you want. But I'm just saying that from a standpoint of being connected to your purpose, you have to go into nature. You have to go into quiet when you're in the city. You have to calm down, and you have to just think and just go in your mind and see that place in your mind where when you have that thought, it makes you cry. And you'll see that, and that is you talking to God. And what that is your deepest, deepest inner voice. And then what you'll find is everything else that you're doing is fake. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. It's a fucking lie. None of it matters. it is basically just you spinning the wheels in the mud. It's like you're in a car, and it's like you're spinning the wheels, like, and it's shooting mud everywhere. And it's neither bad nor good. It's neither bad nor good. It's just you moving around a lot, right? It's like it's like a flurry of activity that doesn't yield anything. It doesn't move the ball forward. It's just you doing a bunch of shit. There was a great movie that showed this. It was called The Irishman. You guys ever see The Irishman? The last one by Scorsese, or the second last one by Scorsese at this time. And it showed Robert De Niro's character, and he's friends with Buffalino, this gangster, and he's friends with Jimmy Hoffa, and they have these different moral codes, and there's all this stuff that happens, and there's all this activity, and all this shit's going on. It's all fucking crazy, and all this stuff happens. And then at the end of it, when his friends are dead, Martin Scorsese did something that no other movie that I've ever seen has done. It was about a 3-hour-ish movie, and the last hour is just nothing happening at all. He just sits there, and his life is boring, and you realize that this whole movie that you saw, all this flurry of activity, yielded nothing. And his life sucked, and then the movie ended, and that was it. Okay? So we tend to think that there's all this stuff happening. We're moving forward, we're growing, we're expanding, when we're not. We're not doing anything. It has no real value. And so what we have to do is we have to do deep, deep audits of what our life looks like how our life is going, do powerful, deep, deep, deep audits, and say to yourself, is this something that is connecting me to my deepest voice? Is this connecting me to the mission from my creator? Is this connecting to me for the reason why I'm here? And what we have to do is realize where all the bullshit is, and we can actively feel where the bullshit is, because it makes us feel kind of fixating and anxious and kind of unfulfilled, and it's kind of like eating potato chips where it's never truly satisfying. And what happens is that when we get aligned to our purpose, we feel deeply satisfied, we feel good, we feel in flow, and what happens is that we can feel our soul actually growing. It actually grows. We can feel an expansion of our soul, and we feel our light expanding. And then, you walk down the street and you're the shining light, like floodlights coming out of your pupils. And maybe you go to a waiter at Nando's or wherever. For me, it'd be Nando's. And, you're like, how's your day going? And you light them up. And, maybe you see a girl that you want to talk to. You say, hey, nice to meet you. And she lights up. And you're just beaming with positive energy. And so, like Eckhart Tolle said, sometimes it's not just about your purpose, but it's about being what he calls a frequency holder. And it's just you walking down the street, holding that frequency for everybody that you pass by. Some people receive it, some people are oblivious, and some people actively get mad. You'll notice that when you're in the state, homeless people will want to throw a turd at you kind of vibes, you know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, they fucking hate you, right? If you create content on the internet, the most dark, evil people will instinctively hate you. Like it says in the Bible, what Jesus said, they will hate you because of me. And what that means as a metaphor is is that someone in a parasitic consciousness will hate that light. They're hiding from that light. It's a deep topic. I could spend the whole next 2 days talking about my personal opinions on it. So that will be who you become. And that's what I would say to my children I'd say this to my children to Dylan, to Tristan, to Vincent, is like, guys, don't just stay here. Don't just get stuck here, okay? Go into nature. Go into the forest. Think back. Remember who you are, what this place is, and who you are beyond. And that is, in my view, and remember, this is coming from me as someone who, especially during COVID, during the lockdown, the one meant to keep us safe. And what happened was, wasn't that nice? Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe. So what happened was, yes, mommy and daddy. Yes, mommy and daddy, even though back in the day, you remember, they tell you what fucking tea to drink, what they did. But meanwhile, we're like, oh my God. Anyway, I'm done. Okay, so the point being, what have we turned into, right? What have we become? So the point being is, God, it makes me angry. Okay, wait, what the fuck has happened to us? But what the fuck has happened to us? I mean, what has happened to us? But anyway, okay. So what I say to my children is, look, don't get caught up in this world. Be in the world, but not of the world. Say that. Be in the world, not of the world. Yeah, be in the world, but not of the world. And what I mean by that is, and that's from the Bible, and what I mean by that is, you have to handle your rent, you got to pay for your car, you got to pay the cell phone bill, et cetera, et cetera. We get that, right? Yeah. We have things to manage that are pragmatic of day to day, but don't identify with that and don't allow that to become your inner voice. And you can tangibly see this in people's pupils and how they act just in day-to-day life. And so what we want to do is we want to say, okay, well, is this job that I'm doing, is this really my purpose why I'm here? Does this light me up? Do I care about this? Like is this deeply meaningful to me? And look, maybe you could work a job that's not that meaningful to you and you do something powerful outside your job. I'm not opposed to that. But whatever it is that you do, I would just say keep in mind that via your work that you're doing, you have an obligation to grow your soul. And ideally what's meant to happen is that as you hit old age, you'll hit a place where, your mind might not be working that much anymore, right? You might look like kind of like Joe Biden or something. And, you're kind of older guy. And, and your mind's not working. But ideally what you have is you have a bit of that Eckhart Tolle look, right? I remember I saw Ram Dass towards the end of his life. And I tried to engage them logically. I saw him at a seminar, just an Eckhart Tolle seminar. I went up on him. He was in a wheelchair. And he just smiled at me. And I tried to talk to him, engage him logically. He didn't have that capacity anymore, but he was just pure, like this ball of light. And I'm like, hey, and leave it to me to do this, classic me. I'm like, hey, Ram Dass, I read those books from the 70s that are less popular, but I'm a big fan, I don't even do psychedelics, so I just love Ram Dass. And, because I thought I would think it's cool if somebody had read some obscure thing of mine and, told me about it. So I wanted to tell him, I read some of these obscure books. I actually read them in the Nepali coast. I went out in nature and I read his books and out by this little river in the Nepali coast and Kauai out there camping. It was an amazing time and I had a great time. So I wanted to share it with him, you know what I mean? But anyway, he didn't give a shit. But he didn't give a shit because he was so present and just beaming with light and getting ready to transition. And by transition, I don't mean the way that we transition in this day and age. So he was ready to show that gender is a social construct. Okay. So no, he's getting ready to transition, So he was ready to become Ram Damn, okay? But yeah, he basically, Ramet, right? But yeah, so he basically, you could see that he'd become a spirit, right? He'd let go of the world and he'd become a spirit. And, that's if my teaching is around long enough, and we'll see what happens because the world's changing, right? But if it happens to be around long enough, I hope that what people would see is towards the end of my life, I'm just incoherent. And, and I'm just laughing. And it's just these videos of me, and we'll see how long I live. I get killed today, guys. But, I'd love to see these videos of me just laughing, having fun, just beaming light out of my eyes. And people like, Owen, remember back that video in Chicago in 2024, and, you had on the jean shirt and talked about Ram Damed, and, I just would look at you like this ball of light. I'm like, awesome, bro. I love you, bro. I love you, man. Right? And, that's what I want to be when I grow up, okay? So, because the existence that we'll have after this life is, it's not, when you think about, say, heaven is probably, I don't know, but I would speculate, I'm speculating, it's probably not you, at age 28, walking around on a cloud, right? That would actually be almost like hell in a way, wouldn't it, right? Because there's no dimension to life. There's nothing, the life would be different, right? So your soul that will go on after you die, the way that I think about it, and it's really up to you about how you want to think about it, is beyond the ego. It's beyond the biological drives. It's beyond your social conditioning. It's beyond your addictions. 99% of your thoughts, words, and actions are being run on autopilot, social conditioning, ego, biological drives, influences that you have. That's so much of it, right? And whatever it is that will go on beyond this is not going to just be, oh, I'm hungry, I'm horny, I'm cold, this guy shit-talking me, I don't like Nancy, I want a big house, right? That's not going to go on, right? So what will go on is that inner voice, that inner depth of who you are. And what will happen is if you can find that proactivity, okay? Find that first mover, okay? This is something very deep I'm saying that most of you in this room won't understand, and it would take a weekend to explain, but I covered another video, so I'll just sort of leave it here in the seminar for the video. But find that first mover, okay? That place in you that it's not, oh, this person said this, so I'm gonna do this, or I am hungry, so I'm gonna do this, or I want status, so I'm gonna do this, right? Fuck status, fuck hungry, fuck what anybody said, fuck all this shit. It's all being in the world, but you want to be in the world, but don't be of the world. That's in the world, but that's not where you want to be. And try to find that space that's past all of that bullshit. Realize that you're going to die. Realize that this is temporary. Realize that it will blow by super, super, super fast. Yes, go make money. Yes, have social skills. Have an amazing dating life. Find a significant other. Have kids. Have a cool house. I got a great house. I'm not saying I don't care. I have a nice watch. Whatever, right? All that stuff is fun. Go get it. But what I really want to teach you to do is to have all the money that you want within reason, okay? Unless you're just being, retarded with it. But, within reason, right? Whatever money you want. I want you to have the social life that you want. I want you to have all that. But I want you to be above it. So in other words, right now, you would never let yourself become homeless, right? Maybe one of you in here might be homeless, but, it's a spectrum. But you guys would never let yourself be homeless, right? I would never let myself be at only a couple $100,000 a year. I would never let myself not be a millionaire. Does that make sense? I know that might freak you guys out a bit, okay? We can make a shift in your mind where not being a millionaire is inconceivable. Not having an amazing social life is inconceivable. Now, that sounds weird, but would you let yourself be homeless? But what do you look like to a homeless person? Well, that's how a multimillionaire might look to you, right? So it's just a personal standard. So what happens is, I want to take you to that place where all this stuff is just like getting a sandwich, right? So I'm not saying that being rich has no value. What I'm saying is it's like getting a fucking sandwich. If you don't have a sandwich, it sucks. If you don't have a sandwich, it's bullshit. You know, when you don't have money, you're forced to do weird, creepy shit, okay? So I don't want you to have to do weird, creepy shit, okay? Be a weird fucking freak, okay? Guys who don't have a good dating life, they're the ones that are always gonna hit on your girl. You know what I mean? I remember I had a buddy of mine recently. I was doing a party, inviting a bunch of girls over, and he was like, hey man, so hope you don't mind if I chat up those girls you're inviting over. It's like a small little dinner party. I said, brother, I've cultivated this list, and you know, I probably got a combined couple hundred hours, you know, with all the people that I'm inviting over. Just let me do my thing. You're welcome to crash here, but I'm gonna do a dinner party upstairs on my own. But of course, he has to creep on up, start grabbing their Instagram, stuff like that. And it's like, my man, you know, you wanna spend 100 hours, you know, to build this list and invite me? That's reciprocation. But you're too lazy to do that. You just want to go into my list, okay? And then sure enough, the other day he calls me up and he's like, oh, I was talking to so-and-so. I'm like, why are you talking to so-and-so, my man? Okay, these are women who I went out, I met, I invited up. Go talk to the girls that I invited up, but why don't you invite some girls up? Do you see what I'm saying? Right? We're in this, it's like you gotta bring something out to the picnic other than your appetite. Okay, repeat that after me. Say that. You gotta bring something to picnic other than your appetite. Yeah, you're hungry, I get it, my man. Okay, now I have friends who I would gladly invite over because they would bring people over for me to socialize with. And likewise, if somebody's a true charity case, if I had a friend I just came out of a wheelchair. If I had a friend in a wheelchair, I'd invite him. If I had a friend hard on his luck, I would invite him. But a perfectly capable adult man should be able to meet women and invite them over. But he's chosen not to. So I'm not gonna enable that, okay? Because does it help him enabling that? No, it doesn't, right? So when you're broke or you don't have social skills, you do creepy shit. People steal from you. People do creepy shit, okay? So have the stuff handled. I'm not saying not to have it handled, but don't make that the ultimate end goal. Your ultimate end goal should be that you're so far above it that it's not a big deal anymore. You should be above it, okay? Do you think that I spend my day thinking like, how do I get a date? How do I get a date? How do I make money? How to make money? That's not, in the same way that you're not thinking how to go, you know, get a hamburger, you just do it. I'm not thinking about it because I've solved it, okay? So I can think about bigger things. I want to get you guys to that point where let's just kind of get through the money thing. Let's get through the social skills thing. Let's just beat the issue. Like, why don't we just beat this in 2-3 weeks or something? You know what I mean, right? Like, does this have to take forever? Does it have to be this permanent addiction to struggle? We just struggle and we say it's hard and we lie to ourselves that there's not a gazillion dollars in the world and we just pretend how hard life is. We're gonna lie to ourselves and be in this like self-reinforced lie, or we're gonna admit that it's super easy, it's a fucking joke, we can solve it in a damn weekend, go solve it and then think about bigger things. That's all that I'm saying. Because whenever I say that money doesn't matter, guys are like, oh, does that mean I could be broke? No, that means you could be a millionaire, okay? Money doesn't matter because you could be a multimillionaire. Does that make sense? Learning social skills doesn't matter because you're gonna smash it to the point you don't have to think about it anymore, okay? It doesn't not matter because you don't do it and you're a fucking derping, floating turd waiting to get flushed, useless eater, brain dead, apathetic piece of human filth, okay? What it is that you're saying, no, it doesn't matter because it's easy for me and I can be a shining light to others. And then from there, how do we get in touch with who we really are and how do we change the world? Is kind of what I'm saying here, right? So when I'm talking to you, and I'm talking about it being like Ghost of Tsushima, bash the sword, get a little opening, whack, 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 right? Managing time. That's you as a baby. You're a baby. Do you understand? You're a baby, right? Oh, wait, I got home from my job. Oh, wait, I'm tired. Oh, wait, I want to smoke. Oh, wait, I want to do whatever, right? No, you're a baby. You're just a baby, okay? And I understand because I'm also a baby, just at a different level of being a baby. Compared to the greatest possible version of myself and what I'll be beyond this life, I'm a baby as well. We're all little babies, okay? So from a slightly bigger baby to a slightly smaller baby, what we say is, like in Horizon Zero Dawn, or sorry, my other favorite game, like in Ghost of Tsushima, what you do is you get home. You calculate your time. You audit what's of value to you. You get clarity on what it is that you're doing. You know what it is that you want. You get in touch with God. You go into silence. You figure out what your mission is, what you're good at, what will enrich your soul, what's your skill set. You get plugged into that. Build, 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 build. And you focus relentlessly. You focus relentlessly, but you have to understand, what I'm going to demand of you is so hard. It is so difficult. It is so impossible that you can never do it. Only God can do it for you, in my view. Only God can do it for you. In other words, you will never find the energy to do this in your current paradigm. You have to find what it is that you're so passionate about. You love so much. Something that you love so much that you cry when you think about it. You start crying when you think about it, okay? And you're when you finally find that space, you're so connected to it that your hands shake and you sit there in awe and you say, thank you. Thank you for giving me my purpose. Thank you for showing me the light. Thank you for showing me the way, right? In this sort of hall of mirrors that is the world, this kind of fog of war that we're in, we go to God and we say, and again, I'm not a preacher. I'm just saying how I feel about it, okay? We go to God and we say, shine the light, please. I'm ready, shine the light. And through the fog, the light comes through and the fog dissipates. And you see the lay of the land of what's important and what isn't, okay? But you have to ask for that. Okay, you have to ask for that. It's not going to just come to you sitting here, and you have to be humble about it. You can't have a big ego. I don't have a huge ego, but in that moment, you have to humble yourself. Realize your smallness. Realize that you're a baby. Realize that you're powerless. Realize that you're incompetent. Realize that you're a joke. Realize that you have the most incredible potential in the world and have barely excavated even 1% of it. Realize how high your potential is and cry. Realize how much you have vandalized your fucking soul with this bullshit, with this disgusting, sick, twisted shit that is filth, that leads to nowhere, that brings no happiness, that has no longevity, spinning your wheels in the mud like that guy from the Martin Scorsese movie in that last hour, taking you on a road to nowhere, taking you potentially on a road to hell. And get in touch with that. Find out what that is. And then God will begin to drill down through the haze, through the fog, through this disorientation, through this, the world is like this boa constrictor squeezing on you and going, smoke the weed, just feel good, your ego, and you just go, and he goes, just relax, it's okay, it's okay. Look what that guy said about you. Like, this is your ears. Right? Right? And it just takes from you, right? And it gives you, like, have this little ego gratification, get this little high, get this little buzz, get this little crunk, look at this little diversion, look at this little bullshit, get mad about shit, feel better than another human being, okay? And it does that. And then and it just pulls you down inch by inch. Go to that little job. You're tired. That guy at the seminar, he's got it easy. Your life is so hard. He can't understand your life. He never had anything hard happen to him. Okay? He doesn't know my pain. What has he been through? It's easy for him. Yeah. Okay? And it'll say that, okay? Oh, but he's just lucky. It's different for him. Yeah. Okay? And there's these lies, these fucking lies that you tell yourself as a sick, twisted, satanic voice in your mind. Too hard, right? And it will literally eat your fucking soul. Do you understand me? It will eat your soul will be cast into fucking hell. And it will go down. And not hell like a guy with the horns, although that's quite a funny image, but hell as in just complete loss of self, absolute reactivity, no proactivity, nothing that is truly you, deeply put in autopilot, deeply put in addiction, because addiction is beyond drugs, but addiction to many different things. And there's no core of you. There's no core there. There's no proactivity. So what we have through life, what you have through life, what we all have through life is the chance to fight, like Trump said, right? What did Trump say when they shot at him? What did he say? What was his instinct? What did he say? What was the American spirit? What did Trump say when he got shot? You can hate Trump, I don't care. What did he say? What was his instinct? What did he say? What did he say? Fight. Okay, do you understand? Why? That was the deepest truth in his mind. As he is a billionaire man. You can hate, I don't care. Hate the guy, that's fine. But objectively, billionaire man, no need to be out there at all. Oh, I know, because he's like narcissistic, whatever. He is, but he is, come on. But there's no need for him to be out there. He could be just banging his hot wife, kicking it with his kids, skiing, and he was beloved before all this. Everybody loved the guy. Again, you can hate him, I don't care, but realize that. But he said, no, I'm not going out like this the end of my life. And you'd see clips of him with Oprah Winfrey when he was younger and, talking about it. Things got that fucked up. He might have to do something. And he got shot at. Did he just cower away? Did he just run off? Did he say, no, oh my God, I'm getting shot at. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
Fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, fight, fight, fight. That's his mind. Fight, fight, fight. That's America. And he will go down as a living legend. That moment, that picture will be, when he's gone, you got to understand, when he's gone, it'll be 200 years from now, 500 years from now. Even people on the left, people who hate his policy, when his policies are gone, they hate his policies, they hate his ideas. But he was shot at because he spoke his truth. That is why they shot him, because he spoke his truth. And they want to kill this man, like Jesus, they want to kill this man because he shared his opinion. Okay, I don't care if you hate Trump. In fact, I encourage you to hate whoever you want. You hate anybody. But is this country, by the way, side point, is it built on shooting people as a way to handle a debate? Is that how we handle our debates here? We shoot somebody? No, right? We handle our debate with, what is the very First Amendment? What is it? Freedom of speech, right? We have freedom of speech because we assume that everybody are adults and we can actually have a discussion. We talk through our differences. Sometimes your side wins the election and sometimes your side does not win the election. And it's the goal of a citizen to convince the population to get on board with the vision and see what the dominant vision, the majority of vision is, and to win the election. You win the election not by putting somebody in prison. You do not win an election by attacking someone's bank accounts, by weaponizing the judiciary system, or by shooting someone. You win an election via debate, via speech, via sharing of ideas and the marketplace of ideas and getting your ideas out there. And so he sat there. He gave his ideas. Maybe you don't like his ideas. Maybe you think his ideas suck. I don't care. The cool thing is he would fight for your right to think his ideas suck. And anybody who's a real American would fight for you to be able to dislike someone, to be able to mock the establishment. What did Jesus do? What is the main theme in the Bible? Jesus mocks the establishment until they kill him, right? So what does that mean about mocking the establishment? If most of the Bible is Jesus mocking the establishment, what does that say is the spiritual quality of mocking the establishment? What is it? It is holy. To mock the establishment is holy. To mock the establishment is ordained by God. Because power structures inherently house low vibe energy. They house control freaks like the Pharisees. So we naturally mock the establishment as a way to diffuse power so that the people can also have power. So when you cannot mock the establishment, that means that you're under tyranny. So our society by God is that we can question things. You can dislike somebody. You can dislike Trump. You can dislike anybody you want. But we do it via debate. But again, going back to it, fight, fight, fight. Okay, that was in the depth of his soul because look at how much he got thrown at him. Look at who would keep going under a situation like that. Who would keep going? Who would keep going under that when you have that much money? Would you keep going? Jail, attack, media, shot at. Would you keep going? But you want to know something? In World War II, people ran out onto the beaches in Normandy because they believed in what they're doing. People ran into Japan. They believed in what they're doing. So, he's not even doing something in some ways as bad as that. Right? But he doesn't have to do it, and that's the big difference. So love or hate the guy, I don't care. I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I don't give a shit. I got plenty of problems. I got lots of things about Trump I don't like. I'm just making the point that, okay, I go by policy, not by party. But the point that I'm making is fight, 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 okay? Fight, fight, fight. Say that. Fight, fight, fight. Yeah, that's metaphorical, not literal, okay? Again, fight, fight, fight. Say it. Fight, 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 fight. Okay? And what that means in my view is you fight for your soul, okay? That worm tongue in your mind, right? Saying, be lazy, do this job. What do people think of you? Are you tired? And blah, 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 blah. And you have to fight that. Fight, fight, fight. You fight that. And what that means is that you can't do it alone, okay? You will not have the energy. What I'm going to ask you to do, you can't do alone. But you can do very easily when you're being carried, okay? So it's almost like a gust of wind that's going by, right? And you're sitting here and you're walking and you're walking and you're walking and you're walking and you look up in the sky and you see that gust going and it's almost like you've got like a lasso or like a hook that could catch the wind or a kite and you just go and you go like that and it goes wow, right? And you catch it and you just literally windsurf off it. It's just how I'm doing this speech right now, guys. You find that vibe, find that present energy like that and you bam and you go fight, fight, fight. You just go. right? And that's where you can accomplish things. Makes you a visionary. It allows you to see visions that other people can't see. You will see things that others cannot even begin to fathom. You will see through convention and dogma and bullshit, and you'll find answers. And those are answers that you can monetize, and you can get paid to monetize. But monetization shows that the market values what it is that you're bringing. It shows that you're helping them. And so, what we'll see in the future is rather than people being judged by, you created McDonald's to poison people, and basically it's like a sub-dom relationship between the elites and the masses, almost like a pimp and a hoe, right? Where it's like, like the thing with the pimp and a hoe, like the pimp is unhappy, the hoe is unhappy, and then they just co-enable each other to both be fucking dark and evil and miserable. That is the elites and the masses in many different ways, right? The elites, who I've coached many of them, are unhappy as fuck. They make shit garbage products that erodes their soul. And then the masses pay them to be kept asleep, to be kept on autopilot, to be kept numb. And so the future, and what has to be the future, is people that are awake, that are tapped in, and build things and create things that move society forward and lead to human awakening. That has to be a human awakening project. And without that, you guys have to understand, we now have biological weapons, we have AI, we have nukes, we have too many ways to kill ourselves, to destroy ourselves, and so we're gonna be fucked. Like there has to be a leap, a jump in human consciousness. And what you're gonna notice is, even in this room alone, it just takes one person to capture a positive vibe and to bring it and to share it unapologetically in order to shift the vibe of a room, right? Do you guys notice just being in this room, you almost feel your paradigm? And this is just the beginning. I mean, we're just starting this damn seminar, okay? Not crazy thing about, okay? We're just starting this fucking thing. And can you already feel your paradigm and your awareness almost like a pineal gland or whatever the fuck it is? Couldn't tell you. But can you feel that opening? I don't know. But can you feel that opening up a little bit? Do you guys feel that?
Yes. Yeah.
How much do you feel that just right now? Just a little bit. Can you feel it just a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Can you feel it a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Some of you, yeah? And what do you think it'll be like after a couple days of this? What do you think it'll be like if we go out tonight? You see what I'm saying here, right? So we can open it up. What it comes down to is the way that you lead is you have to go to God. You have to go to the first mover. And when you get in touch with that, you're just a human being. I don't think I'm God. I think I'm half retarded. But even as a half retarded, flawed idiot like myself, all of us, not me, but every one of you in this room has the capacity to do that. And then rather than you being at the effect of the fucking frame, you can begin to dictate the frame. And that's what I try to put in my children, for Vincent and Dylan and Tristan, who are out here in Chicago right now. Maybe I'll bring them here tonight or tomorrow. I try to put in their mind, listen, you are not at the effect of the fucking world. You are not a consumer only. You're also a creator. You have to realize this is your country. Do you understand? This is your country. You are not just at the effect of what happens here. You are also at the cause, but you have to embrace that nature of being at the cause. But the problem is one man or woman is not strong enough to just be at the cause. So we have to go to the cause. And when we go to the cause, again, kite comes out, bam, and we just surf. And that's where you find the energy and the stamina and the vision and the lateral thinking and the creativity and the power that you need to marshal in order to see your vision come to fruition. And for me, like so much of my life was just beginning to understand this and to embrace and embody that paradigm and to make some big changes. Some of the changes I've made are very public, and some changes that I've made are private and will only be known after my death. But I've allowed some big changes to occur. So I've been able to have a pretty solid amount of influence. But I'll tell you, if I live long enough, my influence will grow. But my children were born with that. They understand that at the most core level from their upbringing. They've understood that from the time that they were born. That's why my kids can come in here and run this event. Without even being trained, they can come run this event. I don't even need to be here. I can bring an 11-year-old kid in here who will do a similar job to me. It'll be his version, but it will be a similar job to me. Not because he was trained on public speaking, not because of some epigenetic thing, although who knows. It is because he was trained in that paradigm. Dylan is the one I've had the most contact with up until this point because my son Vincent's autistic, and Tristan's like 5 years old. He's just in fucking party mode. But, and he truly is. I mean, he's partying right now. But he's learning it his way. But what I've communicated a lot with Dylan and my other children, if I live long enough, I'll communicate to them is you are at the cause. You are a leader. You will be a leader. Maybe they will be a leader in a smaller capacity, but maybe they will have the capacity to change the world, right? And that will be in many ways, I will be their greatest ally and their greatest foe because they will be my children. Imagine having a father of influence and then being compared to that. And look at LeBron James's kid. That's not a very nice thing, right? And he chose to play basketball. I personally think LeBron James's kid should have maybe talked about the cause of his heart attack. And I think that would be a much more powerful path for him. But he doesn't want to talk about that. So he wants to play basketball. That's fine. That's up to him. But what I'm saying is, to my children, what I've tried to empower them with is, this is what I would tell my children: go into nature. You know, I would tell my children, like, if you're lost, if I'm not there, if I'm dead, go, and even when I am alive, go into nature, find your inner voice, find what you have to do, find that thing that makes you cry, find that thing that overwhelms you. See what it is that God wants from you. See why it is that you're here. And when you do that, you will outcompete, outperform. You will perform miracles. You will do things that are impossible. You will operate in levels that other people cannot understand. And you will be given challenges that are so painful and so hard, and you will be overwhelmed, and you will walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You will literally walk through it, and you will go through pain and suffering and things that other people will have no concept of, and doubt and fear, and you will have to maintain your faith. And in that maintenance of faith, you will accomplish things that you could never imagine. And you'll do this, and it will be smaller when you're young, and then it will grow bigger as you get older, and greater challenges. And you will watch perfectly, in perfect sequence, as the challenges get greater and greater and greater and greater. And those challenges, and you'll say to yourself, if this had hit me even 6 months ago, I would have been flattened by this. But somehow, some way, this challenge that's in front of me, I have to go deeper into myself and deeper into my faith in order to do this, right? And only through God, in my view, can we find that faith in order to get through that mission. And what it's meant to do is it's like an iron in the fire. It's meant to just burn off the impurities. Because in order to operate at this kind of level that will make you truly fulfilled, you will have to burn off the drugs, like everything's got to go. It's the narrow road. Say the word, the narrow road. Say everything's got to go. Everything. Okay, your selfishness, your tiredness, your pettiness, your laziness, your anger, your negativity, your selfishness, it all has to go. All of this will go, and it will cleanse you, and it will purify you. And that will be, and it'll cause you to go into places that will cause you to go, it will cause you to accomplish things that you could not imagine. You will do things that you never thought possible. You have no idea what you're capable of. You have no idea when you walk that path. This is, like, again, money is cool, a dope watch is cool, a dope house is cool. It comes, it goes, economy rises, economy falls. Culture changes, shit changes. You can't find your identity in that. Be in the world, handle your shit, I'll teach you that, but not of the world. But what will matter is what I'm talking about here, because you have to understand there's some things that money can't buy. Do you understand that? Yeah. I am a selfish motherfucker, and that what I want are the things that money can't buy. You see what I'm saying? Okay? The rich are often truly the poor. I know because I coach them. The rich are often truly the poor. I know because I coach them. They're often more lost than a broke person. In fact, being broke can be a very powerful and clarifying place to be. Being rich can be confusing and throw you into the darkness. My great friend Tony Shea, who you can look up, he ran Zappos, which was the Amazon but for shoes, and he'd sold it for $800 million. And I watched him get hooked on drugs, and I watched him get burned alive. And, you know, not going to be seeing Tony at Summit anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? And he was beloved. But all that money brought around fake friends, and it brought around confusion, and it brought around bullshit. Okay? Look at poor Zuckerberg and his beady little bug eyes, and look at what's happened to him. Would you ever want to be him? Think about this, okay? And many of these guys are hooked on drugs, and they're afraid, and they're under torment, and they're being pulled in different directions, and their souls being ripped out of their fucking body, and you can see it when you look in their eyes, okay? And I pray for Mark Zuckerberg. I pray for him every day because I see him and I think, God, help this man, help this man, help this man, okay? And I can remember, you know, being younger and meeting some of the people in these circles, and man, it's dark. Man, it is dark. The things that I have seen is dark. It is fucking dark, and it's all true, and it's super dark, and I've been around them, and it is dark. So that is not where you want to go, guys, okay? You do not want to go there. What happens is that through all that money and fame and power and sex, there's no pain, or it removes pain. And what happens is that you never find that presence, because where do we find presence, guys? Where do we find our second birth? Where is it? It is in suffering, right? It is in proactive non-resistance that we find our souls, right? We're brought here specifically to experience pain. Very, very specifically to experience pain. And in that pain, we give it to God and we go into conscious non-resistance to it. And in that conscious non-resistance, and when everything seems like the walls have closed in, all the walls have closed in and there's no solution, and we go into absolute faith, and that is when you'll walk on water metaphorically, okay? Because the solution will be given to you, but you have to be in complete faith. You have to be calm, in faith, and allow that solution to come to you. And you know, a guy like Tom Brady, you know, down at halftime against the Atlanta Falcons, he built to that for his entire career and eventually coming back to that victory. And, you know, allowing yourself to say, we're never out of the game. We're never out of the fight. We're always in this. And he said that after, we were never out of the game, even that far down at halftime. We're never out of it, right? LeBron James winning. And I do not agree with that man's politics, but I still believe in his life's craft. And if you see him, down 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors, he just stayed present. And he stuck with it, and he won. And that's what I want for you guys, right? Your greatest victory will be when you're down. This is what I want to say to my children when I'm dead and gone, if they're watching this video. You know, they will be ambitious. They will climb a steep mountain. They will do things that are hard. They will do things that seem impossible. I've already trained them to do that. Even at age, 7, 8, 9, I have my kids hiking the Kalalau Trail. I have them hiking out in Zion. I have them hiking Eagle Creek. Very hard hikes. They'll hike until they collapse in some of the hardest hiking you've ever seen. And, I train them to be able to go through that and to stay calm through it, to stay present, to stay focused, and to go through that pain. My kids are quite spoiled, but my kids go through harder things than any other kids at the same time. They're supported, but they're challenged, harder than anybody. And they will be flat broke at 18 because I will not give them one penny after 18. So understand, because that's my job, is to make sure they're ready by that time, okay? I'm not gonna buy my way out of this. They've gotta be ready, they gotta be educated, they gotta be prepared. And so what I dream for my children is not any specific job in particular, right? What they choose to do is what they choose to do. That's between them and God. But what I pray for them to find is what their calling is, and to play that full out, and to utilize life on earth for the intention that it was intended for. It was, okay, your life has an intention behind it, a vision behind it. So you've got to go into nature, you've got to go into quiet, you've got to allow yourself to find that inner voice, take the fucking challenge, take the fucking mission, and go all out. And through that process, through that pain, you'll see the weakness in yourself, you'll see where you fail yourself, you'll see where you're out of integrity, you'll see where you're petty and do shitty things and things that you're not proud of and things that you're embarrassed of, and you'll watch yourself and you'll say, I'm better than this. I'm not built like this. This is not who I am. I'm humiliated. I feel stupid. I feel down. And then you can go back to source, back to yourself, and you can regroup, and this will be an ongoing process of regrouping. You go to that next mountain, and you go to climb it, and you fuck up, and you're embarrassed, and you're stupid, and you blew it, and it sets you back. And you land flat on that ground, bleeding, bloodied, and a mess. And you sit there, and you say, I'm better than this. Say that with me. I'm better than this. Say it again. I'm better than this. Say it again. I'm better than this. Say, fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. I'm better than this. I'm better than this. Okay? And via that process and just continually failing and regrouping and getting back on your purpose, what you'll see is, this is what you'll ultimately see. You'll walk down the street, there'll be a light coming out of your eyes, you'll feel good in your own body, people around you are elevated. I haven't been sick in 13 years, maybe that has something to do with it. And you won't feel drawn to things that are egoic as much. You'll feel drawn to nature. You'll feel drawn to real friendship. You'll feel drawn to real love. You'll feel drawn to art. You'll feel drawn to things that are creative-based, that are creation, right? Rather than saying, oh, I want ego validation or I want money. Again, you'll have all that. That'll be like nothing, like getting a sandwich. That'll be easy. That's nothing. That's like a joke because you're operating at that point at such a different level. That stuff is like a joke. You'll have it. You'll just think it's dumb. You'll literally just think it's dumb. You'll be like, okay, that's dumb, right? And you'll see all these people that are caught up in it, and you'll feel pity for them and wonder when they're going to get out of it. But they're stuck in this like kind of matrix trap. And what'll happen is your greatest desire will be to spread light. You'll want to see other people awaken. You'll crave your own awakening. You'll crave other people's awakening. You'll crave what it is that you're truly here to create. But you'll also want to witness God's creation and also other human beings' creation. You might want to go to that beautiful restaurant that you can tell someone really thought about, or look at that beautiful painting or that beautiful piece of art or that beautiful building and just go look at it. Maybe here in Chicago, you'll go over to the bridges and just stare at the bridges, and that will nourish you and you'll feel good. Or you'll go out in nature and see God's creation, not just man's creation, but God's creation. And you'll just want to be in it, and it will feed you. And what happens is that, and again, I would say this to my children, is much like a Native American. I used to hear Native Americans saying things like, oh, I'm connected to the land. And I kind of just thought that was a bit of an excuse to just get land back from, the government, right? Which maybe. But there's also a truth in that, right? My children have traveled America, and they're connected to the land. They're fed by the land. They find their energy in the land. And you have to remember that America, and this is what really has to change. This has to change in the church. America is also a holy land. America also has a role assigned by God. It really is. It's the country that spread freedom. Now we've lost a bit of that identity, haven't we? Right? Yes. People literally clamor to have their freedom removed. It's complete insanity, right? And Satanism. But at the same time, this is a country where freedom had its beginning, right? Where we got out of fucking monarchy and all this bullshit. And it's been corrupted in many ways too. But there's God's plan for America. And I say that as a Canadian. Sometimes you need a Canadian to tell you how to be a fucking American. And, but I can understand, as a Canadian, as a proud Canadian, I can also understand my children's destiny as Americans and what that means, and for the importance for them to be connected to the land. The importance for my children, to be out. There's an incredible national park system that's being preserved, but to be out in historical parts of the country, to be out in nature in the country, to spend time there, to connect to the land, and and this will sound crazy, but allow the history and the land to speak to you. Let it speak to you. And what I mean by speak to you is not, hi, Fred, it's the land, okay? Like you're schizophrenic. But it's subtle, okay? God's voice is a whisper, it's subtle. I actually, just 2 days ago, was in Catalina Island, okay? And I'd recommend all of you to do this, but start local. But eventually, I was in Catalina Island, which is an island just off of the coast of Los Angeles, okay? You go to Long Beach, or there's places to go in San Diego, and you take a little 1-hour boat ride, and you go to this island. And there's actually a old casino there. And this old casino has a ballroom, and the casino has this incredible theater that's in there, right? And I remember I walked in there, and it was so beautiful, and it's right out on the ocean, and you see all these beautiful boats, and you see the sun just peeking through the windows, and this huge ballroom, and this huge theater, and all these paintings all over the walls that are historical. And it really brought me to tears just being there. And I was there with my friends Masha and Gina, and we were just walking through, and what I learned was, and I could feel there was an energy there, and it was actually that people in World War II were brought out there, okay? And so the soldiers in World War II sat right there, and you could feel the energy and the history of people who fought against Hitler, who came together, the greatest generation, and you could feel the energy there, right? And we have to go to these places to be inspired, right? To see other great things that other human beings did, and to be inspired by those things, and to, I would say this to my children, let it inspire you. Let it bring you to tears. Let it show you other examples of other men and women and what they did that was inspiring. Allow that energy into yourself. Let it affect you. It's like, not to be crass, but it's like if you're getting a lap dance from, at a strip club or something like that, right? Shifting gears there. But you know what I mean, right? Like, you don't just sit there going, anyway, I'm looking at my phone. No, there's I actually don't go to strip clubs, but I went to one when my dad took me to one when I was 18, right? But I remember, it's kind of such a side topic. Leave it to me to do that. But it was honestly she gave me a hell of a time. My dad, he took me to, I got a lap dance, right? I'm not a strip club guy. I think it's kind of a weird place. But the point is he gave me a lap dance, and it was whoa, blew my mind, right? I was a virgin, so blew my fucking mind. So, but I allowed that to impact me. That's kind of weird, to go to strip club. But my point is that's kind of my first low-level example of allowing something to impact me when I was a lot younger and a lot dumber. So, but as I've gotten older, allow yourself a little bit to be inspired by the environment, okay? Let the environment inspire you. When you're out in nature, look at a tree, look at the sky, look at the buildings around you, look at the beauty in the buildings. Go on the lake. You guys here, you have Shed Aquarium, you have beautiful art museums here. Go there, look at greatness, gaze upon greatness. Realize that was created by your fellow human beings. See the value of human beings. Human beings, as AI comes out, you guys realize that soon enough in our lifetimes, AI will take a movie like Indiana Jones, and they can make Indiana Jones version 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, In this version, the cup's here. 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 A millimeter difference in the cup. And then a millimeter difference in the boat. A millimeter difference in Indiana Jones. And AI will be able to do that. Do you guys understand? Is that weird what I'm saying? Do you guys understand? Yeah. It will be infinite, right? It's with enough computing power, it will be infinite. Just everything created by computers. And that's when we have to get back to find our humanity and what our humanity represents. And this is where a lot of what I'm talking about is both common knowledge from 1,000 years ago, but also in today's society is a little bit ahead of its time. And that traditionalism, we will wind up coming back to that inevitably, because the only choice will either be to completely plug into that matrix and have your soul wiped out, or it will be, because we can't even live without a smartphone now, what do you think will happen then? And it will either be that, to just plug into that. Now what happens is when you plug into that, all pain is removed. There's no more need for conscious non-resistance, and we have the death of the soul. And that is the book of Revelation, in effect. So that's already coming. But those of us who choose to maintain humanity and who choose to say, I don't want to just go into that, and to find the value of what our life here means, we will choose to have that pain, that mission to fight through it, and to have that rebirth of the soul. And it will be called a death cult, by the way. They'll call that, oh, they're not taking the thing that makes them live to be thousands of years old. Oh, they're not taking the chip. They're not taking the mark of the beast. They're not taking that. They're saying no to that, right? They're declining it. And they'll say it's a death cult. But in reality, taking that is the death cult, because it's the death of the soul. It means that your intelligence moves from the soul entirely into the body, which, to be fair, many of you are there now. But as of now, you have enough pain that you may be driven into an awakening of your spirit. There's a potential for that there. So while you have that potential, this generation, we need to see a leap in consciousness. We need to see us hit into another level. And by hitting into that other level, we will become the greatest generation. Okay? We will become the greatest generation. And our children will lead that. My sons will lead that. Your sons and daughters, and if I have daughters in the future, will lead that. Do you understand? We will raise them, and we will show them, and we will educate them on what's coming. And this will become the greatest generation. The greatest generation, if you've ever seen World War II history, it's just unbelievable. But what's coming will be an even greater generation than that. But that generation won't fight by pulling a gun out and storming into, a burning building or storming a beach. That generation, it will be a spiritual battle and going to God and finding out what's necessary. And just like in the book of Exodus, what you'll see is people will leave, just like how Moses had to leave Egypt. People will leave the sick system. They will leave that world behind, and they will say no to it, and they will reject it. And just watching the absolute filth that exists in the world as people, you ever seen the movie WALL-E? You guys ever seen that? The movie WALL-E? As the world gets like that and people just snuff their souls out, they go, I just want to be plugged in. I'm sick of this pain. I'm sick of things being hard. I don't want to have to manage all these factors. I don't want to use my mind. I just want the pain to go away. And they just want it to go away, and they offer it to you. They say, we can make the pain go away. You can stop hurting. You can stop being poor. You can stop being so horny and not be able to get off. You can stop having to wake up with a fucking alarm. All the pain can go away. Like socialism, right? That offers you that solution. All the pain, not that all socialism is bad, but the extreme versions. All the pain can go away. We can make that pain go away and everything will be okay. Just relax. Relax, right? Like this boa constrictor that's on you and just tells you to relax. But then as you relax for a minute, it goes tighter. And it goes, it's okay. It's okay. Just feel good. Like that. I just want to feel good. I'm sick of it hurting all the time. I don't want this to hurt. I just want to smoke the weed. I just want the easy way out. I just want the pickup line. I don't have to learn real social skills. Just give me a line. Just give me the magic pill for business. Just make the pain go away. Make the pain go away. Like that. Take the pill, take the chip, take whatever, put this thing in your body that we give you and you'll be safe. The thing that we give you will make you safe. You want to stay safe, don't you? Like that, right? And it will offer you solutions, just like it does now. Just like it does now. You think it's any different now? It's just a lighter version now. It already does this now, right? And we take it and we cope. And coping comes in so many different forms to take us away from our core essence and our purpose on earth. It's here. And we have to go, again, into nature. We have to connect to the land. We have to allow the land and humans' creation and God's creation to inspire us and to get us back to center and to get us back to who we are. And we have to fight, try different things, be embarrassed, look stupid, act stupid, embrace the stupid, be embarrassed, be out of character, see it, and say what? What do we say? And I'm better than this. Say it. I'm better than this. Say it again. I'm better than this. Say it again. I'm better than this. Now say fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. Yeah, we fight, okay? And not fighting other people, we fight ourselves, and we fight the sick snake in our fucking mind, okay? And this illusion that's around us, this mist, lies upon lies upon lies upon lies, bullshit upon bullshit upon bullshit upon bullshit. I could spend 2-3 days just talking literally about all the bullshit, all the lies, the people even who you're meeting that may not even be conscious, just little neural networks and sick little low vibe energy just running them and imposing frame on you and ultimately trolling you. Oh, this is what matters. That's what matters. You should care about this. You should care about that. This is the thing. That's the thing. This is the trend. That's the trend. When in reality, none of these things are the trend. There's only one trend. Do you understand? That's God. There's only one trend. That's the first mover. That's the only trend. All this other shit is a fucking lie. And like in the movie, the Robert De Niro one, The Irishman, what'll happen is you'll spend your whole life spinning your fucking wheels, spinning your fucking wheels, spinning your fucking wheels. You spend your life doing that. And none of it will amount to anything. It will all be a big fucking joke. It will be neither bad nor good, although I would kind of call it bad. But it's not even like, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's wrong. It's wrong. It's not even like that. It's not even to that point. It will just be blah. Think about all these movies that you watch that you can't remember. Think about all these places that you went that you can't remember. TV shows. Think about relationships that you had. People that you met, where it's like these pointless conversations. Doesn't move the ball down the field. Doesn't do anything. These stupid street hot dogs that you ate on the street and took a giant shit the next day of liquid, right? And you're just like, it's just like this piece of shit that you shit out that was fucking pointless, and there was no purpose or rhyme or reason to any of it. It just existed, and it lived, and it died, and it didn't move the ball down the field, and it was just that. And as you get older, you begin to sort of audit that kind of thing, right? And you get older, and you just look at different situations or people or places or things, you go, oh, I know you, I recognize you, I know what you are. You're another distraction. Just another thing, again, to take me out of. We said time is money, but what else is money? Is it just time? What else is money? Focus. Say it again. Say those two things. Focus. What's the first one? Time. Second? Focus. Third one? First one? Time. Second? Focus. Third? Yeah, and so what happens is, it's honestly, it's just, oh, I know you. You're just that little thing that distracts me, tries to impose your frame on me, confuses me, fucks with me, distracts me, confuses me, fucks with me, wastes my time. You ever have like a breakup that you couldn't get over for like a year? And then you go, what was the point of that? Confuse me, upset me, whatever. Now she's gone, you know, getting cream pied by God knows who. And God bless her, as she should. God bless her, as she should. Hopefully you'll dispense many yourself. And, you know, and so it's like, why? Right? There's the old Hodge twins. You guys know the Hodge twins? Yeah. And they have these like breakup videos where they do it to help men, and they go, imagine you're a girl with getting pumped by this other man, nuts hanging out, cream pie, and you're just like, I'm over it. I'm over it. Right? I'm done. Okay, so, you know, but the idea being is like, you know, some relationship that you had or some, you know, whatever you got sucked into, right? And the joke that I always say is like, we're always being trolled. Right? We're always being trolled. It's people that are imposing their frames onto us. Like how they scared us during 2020. We're being trolled. We're being proactively frame controlled and trolled. And so if you look at a room like this, right? What is the goal of a room like this? Like I said, you know, are you guys, what I'm trying to give you guys here, I've never done a psychedelic, I never will. Many of you have, that's cool. I never will myself. But what a lot of people would say about a psychedelic is that it shows you like not just the real, but the real. Like the underlying reality beneath the bullshit that we can all sense, right? That's what I'm trying to be, like a sober psychedelic, okay? My beard, even, okay? Okay, I'm trying to be that for you guys, okay? And I'm trying to, as a speaker and someone leading in just this moment, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you thinking past the surface level bullshit that's distracting you and get you to the real. That's what I want to see for my children is a life that's the real, like an authentic life, not just like some bullshit, some distraction. So all these little distractions that you get are just there to show you how pointless they are. That's their purpose, by the way. that breakup that you had, that time that you wasted on the shitty job, that stupid street hot dog that you ate and the diarrhea shit the next morning, that gossip that you did, that person that's negative, whatever the case, right? That TikTok that you watch, it serves one function. It's just to show you bullshit. That's it. And so your job is to have the epiphany, this is bullshit. Say that after me. This is bullshit. And then to teach you to say one word. And it's a 2-letter word, and it starts with Ed. And what's that word?
No.
Say it again.
No.
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 What do we say to 2020 if that happens again?
No.
Good. Okay. And so, in other words, okay, we understand when we're being frame controlled, when we're being trolled, and just saying, you know what? We got to wake the fuck up, right? Like, you guys have to understand, 2020 was an inevitability. It was, because you saw the trajectory of the dumbing down of society. You saw that. You saw the way that they're controlling, right? So of course they're gonna say, you know, get on your knees, wear that mask, stay in your house. Of course that had to happen because it was the trajectory, right? So the question is that trajectory going to continue, or was that a warning, right? Will we continue, or was that a warning? And unfortunately, we can't just say, hey, I don't like this, because if the mass population is in that trajectory, you will be swept up into that, okay? So when I say we need a human awakening project, what I mean is we cannot allow ourselves as leaders to be frame controlled. And don't just, if you disagree with me and you like 2020, then God bless you. But I'm just making the point that some people do. But the point being is that we can't just be frame controlled. You need to start seeing people that are able to find that inner voice, that are connecting to each other, that care about the world, that don't only care about, that have money and have got that handled, like tying your fucking shoes, you know, have social skills down. Those things are handled, but then from there, who actually can make impact, okay? And who care, who give a shit. Because ultimately, like, we were given a system of democracy by the founding fathers, and that system is somewhat spread, and we have to be worthy of that system, right? Because democracy, ultimately, if the population is dumbed down, will implode. It will implode under its own weight. So it assumes a responsible populace. And much like a harsh, cruel parent, it assumes that if you keep voting for the wrong person, you'll be punished. And society will go to shit, and we'll go into such a dark place that we will be forced to wake up. We won't have a fucking choice. But the question is, can we avoid getting, and it's not just who we vote for. Voting a politician, that's just a tiny piece of the puzzle. But the point being is that we have to make a choice as leaders to say, fuck this shit, to say no to this fucking bullshit, to find our inner voice, and to frame control that, okay? And not to say, oh, society's going to shit, and getting pessimistic. Because what it's really trying to do, the system is designed to make you pessimistic, okay? If you go look at old videos of World War II and people signing up just to go risk their lives, to go storm the beaches of fucking Normandy, you saw how people would just do that. No question, their country's in trouble, they go, okay? How many of you guys now would sacrifice your life for the U.S. government, at the behest of the U.S. government? Okay, do you see that level of demoralization, that level of distrust, how much they have broken trust? They have broken the social contract. They have lied and lied and lied and lied. And just no remorse, just remorselessly lied. And so now people wouldn't even go to defend their own country because you can't trust that the other people are going to do it. There's no direction, there's no vision, right? What will happen to a country without vision, without direction, with absolute cynicism, with too much, I mean, we don't want to have a healthy cynicism of government always and troll them, but not so much cynicism that you just fucking hate them and despise them and view them as a fucking clown show, just like this, it's like this gaslighting clown show, right? What would you call the media at this point? Say that word, gaslighting clown show. I mean, that's the media at this point, right? It's just a gaslighting clown show. It's a gaslighting clown show. Say that again. Gaslighting. I mean, that's what it is, right? I have to explain to my children, what you're looking at is a gaslighting fucking clown show. You know, I have to explain to them, like, why? Like, why would they do that? Like, why, Dad? Why? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Where do you want me to start? You know what I'm saying, right? Like, where do you want me to start, my man? You know, I have to tell them that they can't even fully listen to their own teachers. Think about that. Literally, responsible parenting is you have to train your kids to have a healthy level of distrust. Think about that. That's fucked up. What the hell got us here, right? You know what it is? We've given up, right? We've given up. In a let me explain this, okay? In a corporation, you're running a business, 3 different ways that your business dies. One of it is competitors. Say competitors. Competitors. The other would be predators. Say word predators. Predators. But the other is internal rot. Say internal rot. Internal rot. So a competitor is somebody going after the same food, right? A predator is someone trying to kill you. But what is rot? Rot is that employee that you hired, that you're paying 6 figures, and runs around shit talking to the other employees about your leadership and demoralizing your staff before you eventually fire them. And you paid them $100 grand, but they cost you $1 million. They probably litigate on the way out the motherfucking door because they're pure poison, okay? They're built by poison, and that's their nature. And some people are built like that. And the thing is, that level of demoralization, okay, that demoralization, that's entered into the land, right? That's here now. That's where we're at. So you wake up every day with that demoralization. Everything's going to shit. It's going to shit. It's hard out there. I don't know what to do. What do I make out of my fucking life? What's the point of any of this shit? Fuck that. Do you understand? Say that after me. Fuck that. Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Again.
Fuck that.
Good. Awesome. I love it. Okay? I'm trying to counter indoctrinate you here, okay? Fuck that. Okay? Fuck that. Fuck letting them demoralize you. Fuck the system demoralizing you. Okay? We have so much potential here. Okay, sometimes you need a Canadian to tell you how to be a motherfucking American. You understand? Okay? There is so much potential in this country. There's potential here. We're still a great fucking country. There's a potential that is still here. And that will be what I'll have to put in my children is you are the leaders now. You are the fucking leaders now. Connect to the land. Connect to your inner voice. Don't let these fuckers put their poison in you, their lies in you, their gaslighting clown show in you. Don't let them turn you against God. Don't let them turn you into fucking atheists. Don't let them turn you into somebody who doesn't believe. Don't allow them to obscure the light. Don't fail to see the vision. See above the horizon, and you will get to the promised land. Amen. That's all I have to say for this segment. Thank you guys very much. Thank you.